June 12, 1994. A quiet Los Angeles night that would soon become one of the most infamous dates in American crime history. Nicole Brown Simpson, ex-wife of football legend O.J. Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman were brutally murdered outside Nicole's Brentwood townhouse. The scene was a horror movie brought to life. Blood on the walkway, overturned plants, and a single glove left behind. Detectives arriving at the scene knew immediately this was no random attack. The violence suggested rage, familiarity, and revenge. Nicole was found at the bottom of her front steps, nearly decapitated. Goldman's body lay nearby, his hands shredded from fighting back. There were no signs of forced entry. Whoever did this knew Nicole. By dawn, the media had caught wind. Cameras swarmed Brentwood. Rumors spread like wildfire. Was O.J. Simpson involved? He was a beloved NFL hero, movie star, and face of American success. The idea of him committing such a brutal act seemed impossible, until detectives followed a blood trail from Nicole's home directly to Simpson's white Ford Bronco. Inside his mansion, investigators found more blood evidence and another glove matching the one at the crime scene. Overnight, O.J. went from icon to prime suspect. The stage was set for one of the most shocking criminal sagas in U.S. history, a story where fame, violence, race, and justice would collide in front of a watching world. June 17, 1994, just 5 days after the murders, America stopped in its tracks. Millions of viewers sat glued to their televisions as police helicopters followed a slow-moving white Ford Bronco down the Los Angeles freeway. Inside was O.J. Simpson, one of the most famous men in America, holding a gun to his head while his friend, Al Cowlings, drove. The chase wasn't just a police pursuit, it was a national spectacle. Highways were cleared, sports broadcasts were interrupted, and news anchors narrated the surreal scene as if it were a movie. Crowds gathered on overpasses, cheering and waving signs that read, "Run, O.J., run." Others watched in disbelief. How could a beloved sports icon fall this far? What most didn't know was that inside Simpson's home, police had already found evidence that painted a chilling picture. Blood matching both victims was found in his Bronco. A trail of bloody footprints led to his mansion, and DNA from Simpson himself matched samples from the crime scene. A near-impossible coincidence unless he had been there. But Simpson's defense team would soon turn those facts into questions of credibility. They claimed police planted evidence, mishandled samples, and targeted O.J. because of his race and fame. What began as an open-and-shut murder case was quickly becoming a trial that exposed America's deep social and racial divides. By the time Simpson surrendered at his Brentwood home, he was no longer the adored athlete who had once sprinted through airports in commercials. He was now a man accused of double murder, facing a media storm unlike anything the justice system had ever seen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. When O.J. Simpson's trial began in January 1995, the world was already watching. Cameras filled the courtroom, reporters lined the streets, and every moment was broadcast live. It wasn't just a murder trial, it was the trial of the century. The prosecution, led by Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden, believed their case was airtight. They had DNA evidence linking O.J. to the murders, a bloody glove found at his home matching one at the crime scene, and a history of domestic abuse against Nicole Brown Simpson that showed a pattern of violence. But then came the defense, the Dream Team, headed by Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro, and F. Lee Bailey. They turned the case on its head. Their strategy? Create doubt. They claimed that the LAPD had framed O.J., planting evidence to convict a black man in a racially biased system. The courtroom became a theater of spectacle and tension. The infamous glove test, when O.J. struggled to fit the blood-stained gloves over his hands, became the turning point. Cochran delivered the line that echoed across pop culture forever. "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." Millions watching at home began to question everything they thought they knew. DNA, once considered irrefutable, was now portrayed as unreliable. The LAPD's integrity was shredded in the public eye. Outside, the country was divided. To some, Simpson was a murderer. To others, he was a victim of a racist system finally being exposed. The case was no longer about just two victims. It had become a reflection of America itself. Race, fame, justice, and power colliding in one courtroom. As months passed, tension only grew. The nation held its breath, waiting for the verdict that would shake history. On October 3, 1995, the world stopped. After 8 months of televised drama, the jury was ready to deliver its verdict in the O.J. Simpson murder trial. Schools paused classes, offices turned on TVs, and nearly 150 million Americans watched live as the foreman stood and read the words that stunned the nation. "We, the jury, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty." Gasps filled the courtroom. Nicole Brown's family broke down in disbelief, while O.J. wept with relief. Outside, reactions split the country in two. Many Black Americans celebrated, seeing the verdict as a victory against decades of racial injustice in Los Angeles, especially after the Rodney King beating. Meanwhile, many white Americans viewed it as a miscarriage of justice, that fame and race had overshadowed cold, hard evidence. For months after, talk shows, newspapers, and dinner tables buzzed with one question: did O.J. really get away with murder? Though acquitted in criminal court, Simpson's troubles were far from over. In 1997, a civil court found him liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman, ordering him to pay $33.5 million in damages, money the victims' families would never see. Simpson's public image crumbled. Endorsements vanished. He was shunned by Hollywood and branded a symbol of celebrity privilege gone wrong. Yet O.J. continued to live in the spotlight, doing interviews, writing books, and even being arrested again in 2007 for an armed robbery in Las Vegas. The trial of the century wasn't just about guilt or innocence anymore. It exposed the deep fractures in America's justice system and how race, wealth, and power could twist the scales of truth. Decades have passed since that October day when O.J. Simpson walked out of the courtroom a free man, but his case still lingers in America's collective memory, a haunting reminder of how one trial changed everything. The O.J. Simpson case didn't just dominate the headlines, it redefined them. It was the birth of modern true crime television, a 24-hour media circus that blurred the line between news and entertainment. Networks realized crime sold ratings, and audiences couldn't look away. From court TV to podcasts and documentaries, the O.J. saga planted the seed for the true crime obsession that still grips the world today. Legally, the trial exposed cracks in the justice system. It raised questions about police misconduct, racial bias, and the reliability of forensic evidence. Many Americans saw, perhaps for the first time, that justice could look very different depending on who you were: rich or poor, black or white, famous or forgotten. Culturally, it became a mirror, reflecting America's struggle with race, celebrity, and truth. The images of O.J. fleeing in the white Bronco, the glove that didn't fit, and the tearful families of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman remain some of the most powerful snapshots of the 1990s. Even after his later conviction for armed robbery and his eventual release from prison, O.J. Simpson remains a controversial figure, both a cautionary tale and a tragic symbol. The question of what really happened on that June night in 1994 may never be answered. But one thing is certain: the O.J. Simpson case changed how America watches, judges, and remembers crime. And for many, the scars of that verdict still run deep.